expanding and improving comprehensive early childhood care and education, especially for the most vulnerable and disadvantaged children. It also tasks countries to mainstream ECD into basic education, requiring all ECD to be domiciled in primary schools. The Constitution of Kenya 2010, Article 53(1), provides for the free and compulsory basic education and regards ECD as part of basic education. The mainstreaming of ECD into basic education not only addresses transition but also helps learners to socialize. The Basic Education Curriculum Framework 2017 classifies PP1, PP2, Grade 1, Grade 3, and Grade 3 as early years of education, hence they are required to study in a primary school environment.
CEC, I think that does not address the question asked. Can you read the question first if you could understand? You've just given us an overview of how this can place, but our question is so direct. It reads, the agreement between the primary schools and the county government for establishment of ECD centers in primary schools. Or have you addressed it elsewhere?
Yes, I have addressed it because as a signatory, Kenya is a signatory of international instruments, and therefore in the 2000, Kenya signed that agreement that all primary schools...
Point of order, Chair.
Yes.
Governor, the question here is very simple. Do you have an agreement with the national government on establishments of ECDs within primary schools? Bearing in mind, primary schools is the function of national government. It's a very simple question. It's not about the Dakar Declaration or anything. We're asking whether you have any agreement, especially where you are putting ECDs in public schools.
And I think it's also important to know that our role as a Senate is oversight. We are now oversighting the county government of Lamu. So our questions are not national or global. Our questions are direct to you as a county government.
We don't have such agreement, Madam Chair.
The reason why that question is very important, I'm sure, as we go on, or maybe senators, we ask or we first finish and then we ask.
Let's finish first.
Okay, but you know that. Yeah, let's go to question number 3.
A list of enrollment of ECD learners in both private and public centers is segregated as boys and girls in both PP1 and PP2. Honorable Chair, I would ask CC, the Chief Officer, Madam Hafsa, to respond to that.
Okay, thank you, Chair.
And you don't have to go through the list. You can do the totals and then the rest, the senators will be looking at it as you continue.
Just with the total.
Yes.
Okay, below is the summary of enrollment data. ECD learners in both private and public schools, together with the number of institution award. The pre-primary school data is provided as Appendix 2, and the status report also contains enrollment for private and public schools. So we have got a total number of 10,157 learners, whereby 5,513 PP1 and 4,654 PP2.
Thank you. Let's go to question number 3.
Number 4.
A list of all teachers employed by the county, whether on contractual or permanent basis, their job groups, dates of employment, and designation. Honorable Omano will respond to that.
Chair, thank you. The county government of Lamu has employed 304 ECD.
Madam Chair, on a point of order.
Yes.
I'm looking at your question, or a question that we have raised on the issue of PP1, PP2. I'm just seeing PP1 617 learners without knowing whether they are boys or girls. Unless I'm
noted. We said that let them finish. You note all the questions and then you can come to questions and answers session.
Thank you, Chair. we have 304 teachers employed as of May 2005. Attached is the breakdown for your reference. Appendix 3, Honorable Chair, Honorable Senators, gives the list of all the teachers in terms of the ward, their designation, the job group, the center they are teaching, the terms of reference, the ID number, the personal PSC number, and the year of employment. The summary of these teachers, the number of teachers is here also provided for public schools and the centers as forward. And Appendix 2, the Honorable Chair, provides for the list of learners per center, and PP1 in terms of boys and girls, and PP2 in terms of boys and girls in private and public, and the total, Appendix 2. Appendix 3 provides all the 304 teachers, which is the designation, the ward, the job group, the center name, the terms of service, ID number, personal TSC number, and year of employment as Appendix 3. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Senator Kenya, I think your answer is on Appendix 2 and 3, so you can be looking at it if you have any questions or clarifications. Let's go to question number 5. I think that one we've done because it is on Appendix 2 and 3. So go to question number 6.
A breakdown of the cost of construction of an ECD center, the size of classrooms, and other structures or facilities thereof. Honorable Owanga will respond.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, His Excellency. We are guided by the Department of Infrastructure. Construction of classrooms is guided by the Department of Infrastructure, which gives us the bill of quantities for the construction. And we have attached an Appendix 4, which provides for the bill of quantities for constructing 2 classrooms and twin toilets. They are structural, and their bill of quantities is hereby attached. Thank you, Chair.
Just speak to the amount. I'm looking at the others. What's the total amount? So there was, is it, you said 1 classroom?
2.
Yeah, it comes to the total amount.
At page 24 of the document provides for 3.3 million.
Appendix 4 or page 4?
Appendix 4, and page 24 of that Appendix 4.
3.8?
3.3.
3.3.
Yes.
That is 2 classrooms
And 2 toilets.
and 3 toilets.
Yes.
24 or 25? Page 24, the last page of Appendix 4. Everything is that is page 8. I think there are 3 page 24s. So the last one.
Okay.
The last page of the DQ.
Sorry, Chair. This 3.3 million is for the proposal. We don't have time to look at the documents closely. It's for the construction of how many classrooms and what and what. Because it's not there in your response.
Sorry, Chair. Page 24. There are 3 page 24s. I think that's where the confusion is. The last page 24. The bill of quantities for 2 classrooms and 2 toilets in Lamu County. That's where you have the 3.3.
Okay, so that is 2 classrooms?
It's written 2 classrooms, 2 toilets, and then provision of some, I don't know what that is, but VAT. If you look at page 24, there are 3 pages called bill of quantities. I think that's where the confusion is coming from. I hope the CEC are still there.
I've noticed.
Senator Muruma, take note of that and then we can have it elaborated further.
Actually, I've seen it, Chair.
Okay. No, there's still some questions because there's provisional sum and there's only between toilet and classroom. So I think this is something to ask there. We can ask when it comes to that. Please take let's go to number 7.
Thank you, Chair. Sample photos of an ECD center, classrooms and furniture. We have provided that in Appendix 5.
Members, are you there? It's 5.
Yes. Do you have any pictures? Oh, sorry. Your Excellency, do you have any pictures of inside the classroom?
Yes, we do. Towards on the chair, towards the end of that document.
Towards the members is towards the end of Appendix 5. Yes, Senator.
I know, Chair, that will be asking questions as usual, but maybe for clarification purposes, according to the photos provided, are these all newly constructed ECD? Are they innovated ECD or rebuilt ECD?
Senator, those are questions that you should put aside so that you can ask, because as we get them, we don't know whether this is all the ECDs in all the wards. So those are questions that you should be able to tell us. Because if we keep on asking piece by piece, we'll not be able to extensively ask the questions we have to. Are we together, Senator?
Yes.
Okay. So, Your Excellency, let's go to question number 8.
Thank you, Chair. The annual budgetary allocation in the education sector since financial year 2022-2023 to date, indicating the specific allocation and actual expenditure for the development and recurrent votes for ECDE, county vocational training, and county bursaries and scholarship. We have provided that information. Below is the budget breakdown for your reference.
Senators, please look at that carefully, and please note that county bursary fund is not a function. It's not a devolved function, so we'll ask questions around that. The mathematicians, please note that there's a query on the screen from the Auditor General, so we will look at it so that we can ask the questions around it. Governor, go to number 9.
Thank you, Chair. Number 9, we are required to provide details on ECD teacher refresher or retooling courses undertaken for pedagogical skills development. And I'll ask Honorable Rwanda to respond to that.
Thank you, Chair. During the years from 2023 to date, the county government of Lamu, through Department of Education, Science, Technology, Sports, Youth Affairs, Gender and Social Services, has actively pursued initiatives to enhance the pedagogical skills of early childhood development teachers through comprehensive refresher and retooling programs. These efforts are primarily focused on aligning teaching practices with competence-based education as applied by Kenya Institute of Curriculum Development. The key initiative one, we have in the year 2022, all the teachers who were taken through competence-based curriculum training and ECD teachers for Lamu undertook that training. We have also partnered with Aga Khan Academy to do professional development of ECD teachers and supervisors in 3 areas: literacy, numeracy, and leadership. County government of Lamu, in collaboration with Aga Khan Academy in Mombasa, trained ECD supervisors and teachers under the Foundation for Learning project through blended learning, that is virtual and face-to-face interaction. The thematic areas of training were leadership, literacy, and numeracy. A total number of 203 teachers were trained, graduated, and awarded certificates. The training has resulted to improved instruction strategies and practices in language and mathematics activities, better leadership skills, and integration of technology in teaching and learning. The breakdown is as shown in the table below. Lamu Central, leadership 16, literacy 23, numeracy 17, total trained is 56. Lamu East, leadership 10, literacy 14, numeracy 6, a total trained is 30. Lamu West, leadership 55, literacy 41, numeracy 41, a total of 137. And that's all the teachers trained is 223. Based on the training in the 3 thematic areas of leadership, numeracy, and literacy, the ECD supervisors were trained in supervisory skills to monitor and support the implementation of ECD programs. Training sponsored by the Khan Foundation Lamu, the county government, through the Department of Education, in collaboration with the Khan Foundation, trained 5 ECD supervisors and 292 ECD teachers through schools 2030 project. Through this collaboration, ECD personnel were trained in the following thematic areas: value-based education, learning through play, gender-responsive pedagogies. Value-based education has played a pivotal role in supporting the implementation of competence-based education by fostering core values. Additionally, teachers have acquired skills that make learning enjoyable and responsive to the gender needs of the learners. Through LTP,
Just repeat that particular paragraph.
value-based has played a pivotal role in supporting the implementation of the competence-based education by fostering core values. Additionally, teachers have acquired skills that make learning enjoyable and responsive to the gender needs of the learners.
Okay, continue.
There were innovation challenges where teachers completed in learning material development. Lamu County produced 2 teachers who are finalists in the Global Schools 2030 forum that was held in Nairobi in early June. This function was blessed by Ambassador Professor Julius Bitok during training the Forum for Global Schools 2030 on material development. 4. Training on ICT integration in ECD programs. On 9th May 2024, the county government of Lamu, through the Education Department, signed an MOU with Ecde Kenya to roll out digital learning to all public primary centers in Lamu. Consequently, ECD supervisors and ICT instructors were trained, who in turn cascaded the training to ECD teachers. The teachers were trained in 2 areas: digitalized personal learning and tiare lessons that covered numeracy and literacy activities. Ecde Kenya has provided 6 smart devices to 28 ECD centers in Lamu Central. The county government has procured 2 or 5 smart devices for 1 or 5 public ECD centers in Lamu East and Lamu West. The smart devices also features Ecde field app for monitoring purposes by the ECD supervisors and Ecde officers. The following were achieved: 5 ECD supervisors, 5 ECT instructors, and 292 teachers were trained on Ecde digital program learning. 218 learners were enrolled in Ecde Learning app and use it daily alongside Ecde big books and read aloud.
Question number 11.
Thank you, Chair. Details on the school feeding program, including the nutritional component of the meal, the frequency of feeding the beneficiary ECD centers, and the cost of the meal, whether sponsored or otherwise. I request the CEC to respond to that.
Thank you, Chair. As a county government, we have not started a school fees program.
Noted. Question number 13, Prof.
Thank you, Chair. An analysis of the enrollment in ECD centers since the start of the school feeding program. Again, the CEC shall respond to that.
Since we have not, the county government has not introduced any school feeding program, we have not done the enrollment rates.
I think we'll stop there so that we can deal with ECD before we go to vocational training centers. Senators, let's go back to, yes, Senator Kenya, are you ready?
Yes.
I would request that Your Excellency take note of all the questions because we take them in bunches so that you can be able to answer.
Madam Chair, when in response of question 1, I did hear them saying that the Lamu County government ensures that it implements national primary school policy developed by the national government. And if you read, of course, and from where I sit, we were using 2017, but 2018, that is the National Consumer Education Policy, Standard Guidelines 2018. If you read at 1.3, health and nutrition, it says that pre-primary school shall, this means shall, provide children with mid-morning meals, that is snacks and meat porridge or milk during the 10 a.m. break. And for those schools that they are running the whole day, they should provide lunch. So if you are saying that you are following the policy, why are you not providing food for the kids? And Madam Chair, you know, you cannot concentrate even if it's 2 hours without meals, and especially areas like Lamu, like Kipia, those are areas where there is a lot of issues. Even maybe at home, the kids will not have eaten. Another question is this: do you have any county ECD policy? County, not national, county. How many ECDs, Governor, have you constructed in your tenure? How many did you find? How many have you constructed? The new ones that you have constructed to completion and the ones that you have not completed. Madam Chair, I'm looking at the budget of Lamu. Madam Chair, I'm looking at development. There's 51 million for year 2021, year 2023, 2024 is 46 and 34. Madam Chair, I'm comparing with what they are doing for bursary and scholarship, which is not their function. That's why they cannot provide food, because they have concentrated in what is not their function. If you look at what they are giving for bursaries and scholarship, they are giving, in the year 2022, 2023, they are giving 131 million. 2023-2024, they have provided 1.6 million. Vis-a-vis of development, I'm looking the same year, I'm looking at 51 million, 46 million, 34 million. Madam Chair, the governors have resorted, and especially in Lamu, they have resorted to be doing the national function instead of doing what is county function. Another question then from there would be, Governor, can you provide the breakdown of recurrent expenditure, recurrent per item? What is this recurrent? What are you paying? Thank you, Madam Chair.
And maybe before all that, before you answer that, Governor, we are talking of ECD centers. We want a clarification of how many ECD centers you have. Going by the policy, You know exactly what an ECD center should be, where it should be separate from the primary schools, where it should be fenced, and we want to see the equipment, the playground, before we come to the equipment, because I don't know whether we are talking of ECD centers in primary schools, within primary schools, or we are talking of ECD centers per the policy. I think you can answer that.
Let me ask the CC to respond to the issues.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. We have 134 ECD centers domiciled in primary schools. Domiciled in primary schools. The centers we have constructed when we came into the office since 2022, that is after August elections, we've done about 10 schools. That is two classrooms per in the 10 schools. Because
are you talking of centers of schools? Are they still domiciled in schools?
They are domiciled in primary schools.
So they're still domiciled in primary schools?
Yes.
Can you give an overview of how they are, how they are, where are they? Are they still, because we visited some centers, some centers or some schools who say that these are centers, but they're just within the other primary schools, the classrooms are together, while the policy is clear. Or maybe do you want us first to read the policy? Or you are aware of the policy, so you know exactly what we are asking for?
Madam Chair, if you look at Appendix 6, page 1, down, they have indicated that it was important to note that most of the ECD centers were domiciled in primary schools with a few standalone centers in the 10 wards of Lamu County. So most of these ECD centers, and then I don't know what are centers. Maybe we can describe what is the center, because is it a center or a classroom?
That is exactly what I asked, and that is why I asked whether he can explain exactly what they mean by centers, because as per the policy, you know exactly what is required of an ECD center. So that is what we want to know. Do you have classrooms domiciled in primary schools, or do you have ECD centers which are supposed to be, even if they are domiciled in the primary school, they're supposed to be separate, fenced, they're supposed to have 2 classrooms, as we have said, they're supposed to have water tank, they're supposed to have toilets which are adequate for kids of that age. That's what I'm saying. Do you have centers or you have classes domiciled in primary schools?
Yes.
Yes, Senator Mama.
I think legal should read the policy. Then move from there.
Okay. Legal, Senator, request that you read that policy so that we can be on the same book.
Chair, while they are looking for the policy, I need to answer that question. From 2022, they did 10. Can you tell us what you did? I know Governor Timamy was in the first Council of Governors. He was a governor in 2013. Can you tell us what was done in the first and what was done by the second governor, and now what he has done as the third?
In 2013-2017, I believe we did over 70 schools.
Governor, please, you're not appointed.
Now I'm saying, between 2013 and 2017, that's when we did the majority of the ECD schools. We did over 70 during the first time.
So how many were done by the second governor? The chief officer should be having this figure as a definitive.
I think we need to
He's not
look for
aware.
that information.
He's not aware. That is your line of duty. You should be on your fingertips Unfortunately,
Madam Chair, government is going for some, so I don't think we should say they don't know because it's supposed to do it. It's supposed to do this.
and what we expect next is to be told that he doesn't know exactly what is happening in the ECD centers, which were not built by the current governor. You could continue as, sorry,
Chair, on that question, how many ECD classes centers do they have? Because if he subtracts what was done by the first governor, the second governor, and the third governor, he should have the answer.
Prepared to give us that answer. Are you ready with the policy before the other answers are answered, or you can? Legal, you ready?
Chair, I'm still looking through the points and not yet.
Okay, can you continue with the answers from Senator Kenya as you get that policy?
Thank you, Chair. We have 134 ECD centers, and out of the 134, about 6 are standalone. The rest of the institute of the ECDs are in the primary schools. And what has been done in our ECD centers, which are constructed in primary schools, we construct 2 classrooms, 2 twin toilets with water. 2 twin toilets with water, and provide with them the tables and chairs within their classrooms, and also provide the teachers as per the number of the students. If a school has two classes, that is PP1 and PP2, they have 2 teachers. And some of the institutions, we have provided the play equipments to some of the institutions. And in the current financial year, we have planned to procure more playing equipments to the institutions that are within the primary school. Chair, while it might be to interpret the ECD center as a standalone within the primary, this has been there throughout even before the revolution. That ECD schools have been in primary schools. And when they're in primary schools, they have been in the public land that is owned by government. So they use the same playing grounds. And therefore, we have inherited that and continued constructing classrooms within.
Just to rush through so that we don't go the wrong direction. The new constitution in 2010 changed everything. We got a governor who never existed before. So please don't talk to us about inheritance. We are supposed to address that and adopted a system that is in the new constitution. That we need to have these ECDs, even if you have them in the primary school, because the land belongs to the primary school, there is no problem. In the agreement, there is no problem. But you need to get them in an exclusive area that is fenced. So we're asking, is yours fenced off? Are they sharing the toilets with the primary schools? Or these toilets are theirs? Also, you have used the word, when we have PP1 and PP2, are you saying that there are some ECD centers that do not have PP1 and PP2?
Yes, there are ECD centers in certain areas. It's the security areas, like Basuba. Sometimes they lack students to go for PP1 sometimes. But what we do in those 2 classes, we provide the 2 classes and 2 twin toilets that are designed for the learner, because again, the ECD learners cannot share toilets with the primary school learners. What we have not done, Madam Chair, I honor that we have not fenced off that compound for ECD learners. That one I honor.
Okay, can you finish the questions can you finish the questions that you have been asked, and we can come back to some of the posts that was the post of the primary of the center is also of concern. Like the CP is ready to answer them.
The recurrent expenditure, Honorable Honorable Senator, the recurrent expenditure here for ECD is for salaries. The recurrent expenditure is for salaries, and also providing teaching and learning materials. That is what is known as recurrent expenditure for salaries and teaching and learning materials and furniture. That is recurrent. Development, that fund is utilized in the construction of the classrooms, and toilets for our schools. On school meals program, I take note and I agree that the law requires us to provide the school meals. However, for Lamu, we've not started the program. 100%.
And that's a very serious thing, Governor. Very, very serious, because we are paying university students to have meals. You know, the bursary will give them so that they have a nice place to live in and they have food, but you are not feeding your own.
I don't pay for university students, as a matter of course.
Where is your bursary going to?
Just second.
Secondary schools?
Yes.
Yes, you are paying food for secondary schools. And yet secondary schools don't need your food. You need to feed your own babies first before you feed secondary school children. By the way, what informs your decision to pay this amount of money to secondary schools?
It's the poverty levels. People cannot afford.
Yes, Chair, but remember...
And giving a kid education is very important. Otherwise,
yeah,
we take them through nursery, primary, then they end up not going to secondary.
But Governor, don't kill them at the nursery level. Don't kill your babies so that you don't have enough to go to secondary school, because it's like you want to limit them. Number two, members of parliament are complaining that governors are fighting for recognition through bursaries. The bursaries are with the members of parliament through CDF. Every constituency has CDF money for the same function you're talking about. The president has money. KCB Foundation has money. Equity Foundation has money for secondary schools. So what we are doing, and that's why members of parliament are saying, why are governors fighting for the same space that we are in? Number three, Governor, and you have been there before, you were in the first, in your first term, actually, the governors were very tough. I don't know why you weakened and started encroaching functions that were not yours. But we are saying it is important to educate children all the way to university, but the function must be followed by the money. When you have your meeting with the president during the summit, this should be your agenda. If you want to do it, let them give you the money, then you implement it. But now you are killing your babies. How can anybody in a very insecure place like Lamu go to school, have no tea, they'll just go and sleep? It's very warm, very conducive for just sleeping. They have nothing else to do. And I hope you are starting to see the sense why this particular area was given to the counties. These are children you must take care of. But when you give us bursary and you give no meal, it offends devolution and Senate.
Madam Chair, you are aware that the chairman COG, who is the governor for Kericho, Chair of Education, he does not give bursary. And it doesn't mean that people from Kericho are poor. So he believes by what it is believed in functions. Because this is not your function. It's supposed to be for the national government, secondary school. It is true they are poor, but even in where the governor of the chairman of COG, education, comes from, it doesn't give bursary. And you have told me that the recurrent budget is used to pay salary. Madam Chair, I would want to know how much are we paying these teachers? PNP, how much are we paying? Because I'm not seeing anywhere we are told how much this teacher is paid. Because I'm seeing job group D, PNP, and I'm seeing at the same time somewhere in terms of service, a person is on contract, is the same job routine. So how much are you paying to these teachers? Thank you, Madam Chair. I yield the floor to my colleagues.
How much they are paying, that could be additional documents. I think it has to be resubmitted because I also looked at that and we have the breakdown of the teachers, we have permanent and pensionable. Can you have another column that gives us the salaries on that document? I think rather than ask them to answer that, let them go and resubmit that page, Governor, because I don't know whether the question was not clear. And Secretariat, can you clarify from your own question whether you actually asked for that? Because it is consistent that there is no figure that has been given. So we need to get that figure. I can see the policy is out.
Through the chair, members will be directed to page 11 of the policy. This one sets out the standards for quality and relevance, and it outlines the specifications of infrastructure.
So
that's a national policy. In the
It's the national policy that Senator Kabila asked for. You file the last pages, separator number 5.
So this is on page 11. Where the standards for this section 3.0 sets out the standards for quality and relevance. To ensure quality and relevance in pre-primary schools, the following standards are adhered to. This is it deals now with the infrastructure and sets out the specifications for classrooms, toilets, kitchens, food stores, dining areas, food handling, teacher to child ratio, pre-primary service providers, the staff. This is the designations for the various members of staff, check and pre-primary education curriculum and pedagogy. Chair, unfortunately, due to the length of the document, I would not be able to read out word for word what is there. But I just want to answer Senator Kavindu's question. It is around here. Thank you.
Do you have that policy? What is it, 2018?
This is the 2018 National Pre-Primary Education Policy Standard Guidelines. Yes.
You have it, but it's not attached. Please, can you go and read, because that gives you the specifics, so that you don't create your own ECD center. In the ECD center, a kitchen is expected to be built. And the reason it's expected is because meals are supposed to be served. I fear for those children. If you are telling us in Lamu nobody takes tea at 10, I mean, which little baby PP1 will survive beyond 10 o'clock? They will sleep on the desk. But I want us to look at your table. Okay, let us finish your question.
So that they can know that it's a must. They fit the ECD students. Surely, even on humanitarian grounds, government, a child to come to school and stay for all that long without even tea. I'm sure you serve tea for your staff in the county government. Why not the students who are so young and so tender and they need it more than those who are just doing it?
And then she's asking for a timeline, so we'll expect you before you wind up to tell us when you're starting to have, when you're going to start your feeding program. But let me allow the Senator from Lamu at this stage.
Chair. Thank you, Chair. I want to write on the issue that has been raised by Senator Kabila, and I can confirm that indeed we have a problem in Lamu because those young children are not fed. Then, Governor, I think we are doing unjust to them because they're very young and they need to be fed. And I believe that the county government of Lamu is in a position to feed them, because if you look at the budget that you get, you may say that it's not a very big budget, but at the same time,
the enrollment of the ECD students in Lamu County are not also very big. So you can be able to factor in the issue of trying to feed them so that you can help them as they grow. Chair, my concern is drawn to page 3 of 16. Question 6. A breakdown of the cost of construction of an ECD center, the size of classroom and other structures or facilities thereof. Chair, I have noted with a lot of concern that the CEC Education plus the governor, they have provided in Appendix 5 the number of classrooms that they have constructed in Lamu County. So now I wanted to know from the CEC and the governor on the Appendix 5, pages 22. There is a school by the name Ocean View ECD Baharu, page 22. Yes, Appendix 5 of Appendix 5. I don't know whether we are there, Chair. Can I continue?
Yes, continue.
So, Chair, I wanted to know from the governor who constructed this ECD classes and whether you can be able to provide the bill of quantities of these classrooms that was constructed at Ocean View ECD, Ocean View Primary School.
Okay. Please take note of that because I want us to finish everything around question 6. And one of the questions is if you can, it is the cost and even as a cost of 3.3, which I don't know whether it is standard. You can answer that this question by telling us whether every center is costing 3.3, so that we can go down to the classroom and ask ourselves whether a classroom in Lamu is costing 1.3. You say that 2 classrooms are 2.6, and whether it is actually 2.3 because we have seen different governors giving us different figures, and we have we've discovered that a classroom, if you are saying 2.6 for 2 classrooms, it means 1.3 for 1. Is that what it is? Then we will be able to check that. But so that you answer everything in that, let's go to the classroom, the inside of the classroom, that I may ask a question. If you go to page number 38, and senators, you can look at page 38 and actually 37 together. It looks like the size of the desk is for 2. I mean, the size of the table. Every table is for 2 children. If that is the case, then you go to page number 38, and for you to form a group, you use 3 tables to bring 6 children together. I hope you are taking note of that. How did you choose this kind of sitting? Because how do you make the children sit 2-2? How does a teacher who is handling a class of 30 children move from 2-2? Because it means there are how many tables in the room? For 30 you have 15 tables. How does anybody control children in 12? Your Excellency, you were in the first group of governors. And I remember the first group of governors talked about something like this. I want your CEC to see. For 6 children around 1 table, because nursery school is not a desk group. But I remember the Council of Governors, you remember I was your consultant in so many things in that first term, in your first term. And children were supposed to be taught, because how they teach, and a model was given again over an hexagonal desk like this, so that each child sits with their own space to reduce conflict between the children. And the teacher can put something in the middle. But what you have here has really shocked me. You have tables of 2-2. When you rearrange them,
it's actually 4, not 2.
Are these 4?
Yeah.
Then it's even more serious. Because 4 how? Look at when you look at 2 children sitting, they fill the space from one side and the other side. But now you are saying there's also another one from this side and the other side. That is going to be even more tricky. But I don't know why when you diverted, because when you look at page 38, where you have to form a group, you have actually put 3 tables, and those 3 tables are being used now by how many? The same 6 children. We are saying this because in any learning space, whether it is ECD or university, the environment is very important. But if you create confusion at the desk, the children can learn nothing. PP1 and PP2 governor is the stage that Japanese say is the brain development stage of the child. And if you want to kill the children, you kill them here. If you want to build them, you build them here. For us, it was very important that it goes to the county government so that the counties can give model ways of developing the brain of the child. It is not for nothing that it was developed. So explain to us how you arrived at that. Maybe you have not asked your teachers to tell you how easy and how difficult it is to teach in that kind of environment. What was the next question? Senator of
Yeah, thank you, Chair. I have a query on question number 3. Question number 3 on a list of enrollment of ECD learners, both in private and public sectors, segregated as boys and girls, but that list, Chair, has not been able to make us understand the teacher-pupil ratio. So my first question is, what is the teacher-pupil ratio in the school? We need to understand, because I cannot calculate from here. Can you calculate for us? Chair, question number 4. We were told to, that was number 4, you have 4. Somebody has asked that question already about how much we are paying our teachers. So because we've already indicated the job groups and so on in the list, in the appendix 3, we can just ask Governor, how much are you paying our teachers? How much is the lowest paid teacher? How much is the highest paid teacher? Are you implementing the scheme of service for the ECD teachers? Are you implementing it? We need to know. Just write down the answer. Question number 8 on the budget and allocation in ECD sector. If I look at the table that you've given us on budget and allocation for ECDs, we have financial year 2022-2023. For development, we have 51 million. For recurrent, we have 105 million. Actual expenditure for development, we have 34 million. Recurrent, 99. Let me just look at recurrent in 2022-2023. You had budgeted for 105 million, you spent 99 million, that's less about 6 million. If you go down to 2023-2024, the actual budget is 118 million. What we actually use is 113 million, around 5 million less. If you go to 2024-2025, they had budgeted for 149 million, but actual expenditure was 135 million. I think around 14 million less. And you told us that that current budget is for paying teachers and buying teaching and learning materials. So then that under expenditure and absorption in the current expenditure, what does it portend in terms of provision of teaching learning materials and in terms of paying the teachers their salaries and emoluments? Does it mean you are underpaying them? Or does it mean then you're compromising on the provision of teaching and learning resources? So to me, that would be a question that I want to be answered. Chair, lastly for me, I've looked at question number 9 and on the provision of the professional development. It has been a very comprehensive answer, I must say, in all the counties that we've gone through. This question has been answered most comprehensively, Chair. And I even liked the number on page 5 or 16, the training sponsored by the CAN Foundation, and especially part C of the gender responsive pedagogies. I think we'll introduce our teachers to gender responsive pedagogies, and when we mainstream gender, at that level. I think that is quite positive. So for me, that question has been answered really comprehensively, and I see that there's a lot of work going on in terms of professional level for the teachers.
Honorable Senator, on utilization, I think that blame falls squarely on national government. You cannot utilize what you don't have. The delay in releasing, for example, the year that just ended on 30th June, May and June was given to us last week of June. You cannot, in that short time, utilize the funds. So that's the reason.
Thank you, Chair. To add on that, Honorable Senator, again, the financial and academic year also are not the same, and therefore when we are purchasing materials, sometimes we have to purchase at the end of the academic year to start the new year. So sometimes in the current year, you might find that delay of getting the money, we use it again to purchase the equipment. Then on trainings, Ecde, Madam Chair, we have entered into a memorandum with that Ecde Kenya, and they were piloting in one sub-county, Lamu Central. However, when they came for the MOU signing, our governor said, no, we cannot pilot in Lamu Central alone, let's do it the whole county. And therefore, the memorandum we agreed is every child pays for 420 shillings. 420 shillings per child. That will provide for the smart device and also for the supervision of what is going on in school. I'm able to, where I sit, I'm able to view, because they have a dashboard for me, I'm able to...
Is it 420 for the whole 2 years?
No, it's for 1 year. This year we are entering again in a new agreement.
Is it the child that pays or the government pays at the end?
It's the county government that pays for the child, so that they get. The materials we are using are approved by Kenya Institute of Curriculum Development, both numeracy and literacy. And that 420 also caters for their trainers to come to train our ECD supervisors, who in turn we organize for an internal training for our teachers, the use of the devices and to allow students to use the device. And Chair, it has really helped the attendance of teachers now, because they must be in school to get to teach. And therefore, through that device, I will know teacher A is in school, teacher A is not in school, because they provide that information through that. And again, the tablet, the smart device, allows the learners to go through the lessons. They can learn, read stories in that smart device. So there's a time when a learner is given. We say they must provide at least 1 hour to 2 hours for the learners to go through what is in the smart device. That has made the teachers now to create extra time, because most of the lessons end at 12:30, to create extra time for the learners to go through that, through the lessons in the smart device.
Is that cost reflected in your recurrent expenditure?
Yes, it's reflected in our recurrent expenditure. It's at the tune of, we paid around 2 million, yes, for our learners for Lamu West and Lamu East, because the Lamu Central was being sponsored by Ecde.